or streaming. And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with
Tank.
and we're here on the front lines on the battle against the deep state, the Luma donkeys, and all those other that wish to enslave all of humanity for all their own selfish reasons. And we are winning the battles, one after another. Yeah. So what's going on, Tank?
Well, I don't have anything really to report from Kip. Everything's blacked out for me, anyways. Not to say that somebody doesn't know, but I don't. But I'm following the world events. You had 4 CEOs go down, including the CEO of Twitter, who's missing. That kind of speaks to these 750,000 hybrids that were eliminated. I think that's my theory, anyway.
Oh, that's interesting.
And one of those CEOs is the CEO of Boeing. Can't remember the other ones right now, but I thought Boeing was pretty interesting. And we began the process today. We filed in the court of record our grievance, and we are preparing the next step to take that, because now that it is filed in the court of record, it can no longer be withheld by the judge themselves, and we will call for a common law jury to decide the outcome of our grievance in the actual court. And we will be calling your very reliable source as well tomorrow morning. I actually had that scheduled. I did actually call him, but didn't get a hold of him. So I'm excited about that. And, I've been in covert ops all day. So It's been a pretty crazy day. We got lots of stuff going on all over the country right now.
Yeah, well, I like to see that the Republicans really, stood up and took action and did a sit-in the underground bunker of Adam Schiff, right? and said, this is not a legitimate process, and made it known. So now it was on all of the stations, so. I think this is just a very good sign to show that things again, and with the Republicans at least shifting, and we do see some Republicans that are not real Republicans, those rhinos like Mitt Romney,
Yeah,
not real. But I do there.
Mittens Romney, just a cat.
He always reminded me of a used car salesman.
But you look at Mitt, you got to say the Mormons, man, they're so healthy. He looks great, doesn't he? I mean, if nothing else, this guy looks great.
Yep.
But
yeah.
They all fast 1 day a week. The Mormons. It's a great practice. You want to stay healthy. Almost doesn't matter what else you do. You fast 1 day a week, your body will be just naturally correct itself. Yeah, you think about it. Most people could probably do that, right?
Yeah, you just have to get the habit. Your body will remember that you're not starving it. It's just you're not eating at that time. It's a difference. So your body doesn't go into starvation mode. All right, it does. It handles itself differently. It just needs to know that.
Yeah, but like starvation. I mean, what will happen though, right? This is what bodybuilders do, right? This is what real zigzag dieting is. Little tip for anybody who ever wants to burn fat and not muscle is you boost your calories the day before, right? So you eat like 5,000 calories. You have a cheat day. So let's say it's Saturday. Saturday, blow your calories out, right? Then the next day you eat nothing. Your body will still burn 5,000 calories, right? And then it will continue at a high level as it adjusts during the week, and then it'll adjust because your body will burn whatever you put in it. Really, that's just the way it works. And then you boost them again, and you boost your metabolism, and then you take away the food, and your body will burn fat all day.
Okay.
It's great work.
Now I'll try to remember to fit that in, a cheat day just before the fast.
Yeah.
See if that applies.
Definitely works.
Well, so I've been still like trying to catch up on what's going on in the news, but I haven't. I basically took off yesterday. I had to take care of some errands to go run. I did get my donation in that helped me get through this period. So I'm good for the moment, which is wonderful. Thank you all very much. And the next thing I need to really just focus on completing this project I've been working on, and sometimes it seems like it goes slower than I'd like, but it's all things are happening, I guess, at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seemed like Lindsey Graham, I guess he was informed that when Matt Gaetz and them went in, that they took the skiff by force, right?
Right.
Now, first of all, how can you have a skiff for impeachment hearings? It doesn't even make sense, right?
No, it doesn't.
So he was against it at first, but then he found out it was just a peaceful protest, right? I mean, the Democrats did a sit-in, remember?
Yeah.
They did all types of protests, right? Anything.
Yeah.
Anything that benefited the people, they protest. Matter of fact, everything they're doing now really is just a protest against the people.
Well, I'm just wondering how I think that they could probably even gone in with their own cameras and stuff and said it's not an official anything. What you're saying, we can't copy things, can't do anything, but there's no force of law or anything in this procedure you're doing here, right? So it's not covered by anything. So we can do whatever we want. All right, record inside the skiff.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might.
Yeah,
I might
that idea.
But so it just seemed like that they're not being legitimate in anything that they're doing here. So how can they enforce any rules? Why would you respect it like that? And that's what they did in the sit-in is not respecting the rules, right? Because the rules.
Well, they're made up rules. They're not real rules.
They're not real. That's my point. So you could go in and with a camera crew and say, hey, we're gonna take all these documents that you don't say we don't have rights to, and we're gonna take them. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna censure us? Go ahead. We're gonna show what you're talking about here, because you can't hide it later. Where's all the documentation? Oh well, we've lost it. It's in with the records that they put in Hillary's closet back when she was in the White House with Bill as the president.
I think this is pretty telling. Check this out. I don't know is this real? Hang on a second. Look at that. If we can't impeach Trump, we're all going to prison. This is funny.
Well, I don't think it's real because Cummings was in that photo, and
it's not recent at least. Yeah, but it was interesting.
Yeah, unless they dug them up.
Memes are not sources. Can't use a meme as a source. I saw this in a meme.
It must be true.
Right.
The memes are all powerful.
Yeah. So, in this really amazing post, actually, I think we put it up on the Speak Project already. Is you're reading through this breakdown, this amazing breakdown. And Twitter's really amazing when you think about it. And people do these really long, in-depth explanations of things. And one of the things that was said that I thought was so powerful. I mean, how can you justify anything after hearing this? That the CIA, that they wrote the whistleblower report for both whistleblowers.
Oh, here's something I picked up on. It was kind of said with, I don't think they even realized when they said it, what they were saying. But you know who the actual informant was to the whistleblower?
Oh, I saw it, but who is it?
Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff? How would he have
the informant. He informed. He informed
Wait,
him.
Was he really?
I'm thinking that that's what it is. I think that's why they can't show who the informant is, because it's Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff, did a deep throat right in a garage somewhere, and that sounded so weird. Came out. So the Adam Schiff, just masqueraded his voice and called the whistleblower and said, "Hey, listen, I gotta tell you what's going on with Trump, right?"
Oh my gosh! If they could prove that, that would be the greatest scandal in history. That would be just gut-busting hilarious. And guess what, buddy? We got your call recorded. Remember, this is the government. We record everything.
Yeah, and then he says, "I think what you should do is go speak to Adam Schiff about this."
Yeah, go call Schiff. He's reliable. He's a juggernaut, a good-looking guy, and got a great golf game. He's unbelievable.
Does he have a great golf game? I don't.
I'm sure he does. He's got nothing better to do, right? While everybody else is working, he's perfecting his game.
Well, I thought he always runs off to Afghanistan and Jordan whenever there's a free moment.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting stuff.
So anyway, let's see if that bears up. Because that would make a lot of sense too. The way it's going right now, because he can't. He wrote the whistleblower report.
Right.
So the only thing is the whistleblower is probably a real guy.
I mean, that's the it's like, where is the whistleblower now? He doesn't exist. We can't find him, right? What they're doing in this skip is trying to figure out who's going to pretend to be the whistleblower.
Yeah. Well, they do have the Republicans in there, so I don't think they'll be talking about that. But unless the Republicans are not in there at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody is just going off. They're all trying to, I was listening to Bloomberg this morning, and they're trying to portray it like Trump did something, right? Anybody could hear the obvious, that how obvious it was there was no quid pro quo, which is ridiculous. I mean, isn't every agreement that you have kind of, look, I'll do this, you do that? Isn't that what quid pro quo is?
Right.
We'll do this as long as you do this, right? That's just
Right.
what business is. So if you have a contract with Ukraine that they'll investigate and look into things, criminal activity,
It's a treaty.
and you have a vice president, you have tape of a vice president boasting about that exact thing. You've got, I mean, the list of things, like, it's amazingly, skillful the way this all went down. Really, it's really impressive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, the whole thing has been pretty impressive from the beginning with what's been going on with, the plan, right? How well they put this together so that they'd be able to, advance, know what they're doing almost a year ahead of time, right? So that, so it's amazing.
Well, I mean, their only option is to wage war right now, right? That's the only option they have.
Yeah.
So the only thing they can do is, like, we got to start a war,
And though they can't do it on the ground because the military is not going to cooperate, right? So now they got to do it, with the only thing that they have, which is the media, right? And the media is off and running. Yesterday with saying, "Hey, it's devastating. It's devastating." All repeating the same word. It's devastating. Well, there was nothing devastating. When it leaked out, or they came out and talked about, the witness. I said, his testimony fell apart instantly. It was the real truth. So this is why it's so. They're literally, it's a Hail Mary move. This is how desperate they are. That's the good thing about this whole thing. They are so desperate that they have to go to this extreme, to where there is no legitimacy. No one could ever go along with it. But it's the only thing they have, right? Is to talk about impeachment, for the next, year. And then for the next 4 years after that. I don't think the Democrats will be in existence after this next year, after this next election.
Well, I'll tell you what. If there was ever a time that the pitchfork should come out and people should be taking up arms and going in to basically eradicate whatever the alleged legal system is, that this judge had the audacity to approve that this 7-year-old boy, he's 7 years old. What parent makes a set, even if the decision was the 7-year-old? 7-year-old can't make a decision like that.
Right.
And what mother, what godforsaken harpy made this terrible decision? She should immediately. Why isn't CPS being called on her?
Well,
you're going to impose because you decided your son is a girl, and there's a video out of the kid, just being a kid. Please, I'm talking about. It is he's being forced to be castrated, and this is going to become normal. This is what
it's more than castration, right? It's
castration and then gender reassignment.
Right. Well, they remove the balls, right? Is one step. To be blunt, right? Castration, or and then there's another part there that's I don't think covered in castration. We could get graphic. I don't know what to call it. The shaft. Okay, that's part is not covered in castration, so it's more than that. Or literally, this is harming. Removing a limb. It's like removing an arm. Oh, well, he's left-handed. We want him to be right-handed. So if we remove the left arm, he'll be forced to use his right.
Right.
What sense does that make?
It's ridiculous.
It is.
All this stuff. It's just a absolute freaking tragedy.
No, you're right. This is the thing to protest about. There's so many things that we could protest about, and the thing is isn't that part of their plan also is to get the violence to go so that they can bring people out so that they can then send in their thugs. I was listening again with Dave Hodges. He's going over some more things about troops and what's been in play, for all this time, what they've been lining up for years, right, under the Obama administration. Russian tanks in the states, you know, uh, looking for people that are going to be working for FEMA in the aftermath. These people are, you know, you know, hired by Craigslist. Again, the more kind of casting calls, right, for these people.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to have people that are really dedicated to play a role.
But they think
that are going to go out. I mean, who wants that kind of role, right? Like,
but they think that they're doing something that's good, right? Oh, in case of riots, we're just being trained. They're paying us now for doing stuff that may not even happen, right? So they're all lined up for it, right? And they get paid well, right? And then they become the brown shirts later, right? The ones that are the collaborators. With the UN forces, this happen to all be Russian and Chinese and so on. So, I mean, I don't think that this is going to happen, anywhere. I think that Trump is, and the military has been well aware of these plans and have, they've let's just say, dismantled them. And I don't know about the people that are in these. That there's millions of people within the U.S. are there to be the insurgents. What I don't think that they're going to get the orders to move forward at this time. I think that everything on the politics has shifted, but these guys like Schiff and Pelosi are still out there playing the game, right? Because they have, they don't. For them, they lose everything. Right? They even lose their lives. Their families lose their fortunes. So they're going to keep doing the same thing because they see that they have no choice. And just letting them, show how bad they are to the public, including the media. So this is where the media is going to be looked at as not legitimate, and then no one will care when they pull the plug on them. And then, hey, you lost your license. You can't broadcast this stuff. You can stay on YouTube. But the rest of this, you don't get to broadcast into people's homes. Maybe not even YouTube. Not even maybe YouTube. But that's just like the main control system that has to be broken down. This is the way that it.
Well, I mean, you really have to call into question, right? Because I guarantee there is laws that state you cannot misinform the public.
Right.
Oh, everybody knows the CIA has Project Mockingbird, where they intentionally went and said, we're going to misinform the public. Right?
And so it's 100% misinformed. Their goal is to make sure everything you believe is wrong.
And I think it's actually like some kind of trance the Democrats got put into, that they're repeating over and over and over again that no one is above the law. Well, you can't keep saying that while you're breaking the law, because the law is the Constitution.
Well, they are the law. That's what they mean. So you're breaking us. You can't break us. We're the law. That's what it really is. That they're not talking about the statute that they're putting everyone under. Oh, you guys, you gotta follow the statutes. That's just a given. The law they're talking about is the law of them being in place, in superior position, getting to say what happens to everybody.
So they were all up in arms because President Trump talked about this being a lynching, right? So a lynching has no bias, right? A lynching is an act, right? It's an act of hanging someone and vigilante justice, right? For whatever reason. It's been done for many reasons, right?
Well, I love that he brought it up, right? Because it's going to make them squirm. And that's what he did it for. He's trolling them.
Right. So he talks about this, this they're lynching him, right? Like it's a presidential lynching. They're just trying to hem him up, and like that's all he's referring to. It wasn't a racial term. And I love one guy who's I forget one of these guys. He goes when President Trump referenced the lynching, he goes, I didn't think of black people at all because I'm not a racist. You're the racist. That's what you thought of,
Right.
right? It's like we can't all govern every single word we say because your racism and your insecurity, right? At some point, you have to raise your understanding so that you can have an intelligent conversation about things without making it, like we don't have to adjust our language because you've been traumatized your whole life by being called a man or a woman or whatever. So,
Yeah,
crazy.
you're actually broken if you're traumatized by that, and it wasn't because of that act that you were You're traumatized by the society basically is telling you that it's okay for you to have some disagreements with what your gender is. Yeah, this is insanity.
Well, I also love this too, because now you're seeing the Republicans win, right? And you're seeing your leaders, or at least the governmental leaders step up and actually do something, right?
Yeah.
Like Chuck Schumer, in his, I'm sure he had gender reassignment when he was a kid too, and now he's this version of a man that looks like a man on the outside and probably lacks the equipment, but he, he tried to make it this issue and have a real discussion about about the Ukrainian or about doing something with Trump, like stopping President Trump from doing something,
Right.
and stopping. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, stopping the further investigation, right, of this scandal going on, and Rand Paul blocked him and said, "Sure, let's do that. Let's have a debate right now on the constitutional reality or the constitutional violation of saying that a president, we're going to stop the president from doing something that he has every right to do because it's an ongoing investigation." So to ask a country that we have an agreement with to investigate crimes, to further just, hey, please, make sure you investigate this. That's the extent of the way he said it. I read the transcript. It was nothing. And to investigate this because it's an ongoing investigation. That's what it is. Like the previous administration committed lots of crimes.
Yep.
Like, and he's violating presidential norms because generally the presidential norm is that they bow down, to drink from the teat of the Rothschilds, right? But this president is like, screw you guys. We're America. We don't care what you are. You don't belong here. We're going to empower the people. Good job.
Well, the thing that Trump has done, if you just pick up on like every single thing he's been talking about, it's always about how the money has been leaving America, right? We built this marvelous machine, right, based on capitalism to build a wealth for everybody, right? And we had a very high standard of living for all of our people back through, say, the 70s, right? But thereafter, when they got off the gold standard, things started changing, and then all the wealth was not just leaving the country, it was leaving the people, where the people were starved out from actually being in it. Now, the mirage was put in place, the things that you could buy on credit and such, which was really the trap to get people into that position, right? To then give up everything in the end. So it was a fraud, by taking everyone off of the gold standard. So, but Trump has been pointing out is that we've been the piggy bank for the whole world. And he's saying, no more. And it's the opposite, China. Now you're going to have to rebalance. You're going to have to give us more, not the other way around. It's not going to be equal from now on. No, you're going to be giving us more. You're going to transfer wealth back into our country, right? And that's what he's saying. That's what's unbelievable for the world, right? They can't fathom that this is going on in front of their eyes. They're in such disbelief. and then they pull on all their levers and to make the news say things so that they could change the other direction, and it's not working. So we're seeing that he's really just reversed this piggy bank situation, and the money's flowing back into the U.S. And now with that, even though it's fiat based right now, and the massive amounts of it are flowing out into the world, it's by the hundreds of trillions of, apparently this is what's being said. I think that was on. I think it was X22 that said that. I might be wrong, but one of the they're talking about this, then I recalled that I know that was it the guy from Chase that asked him for 200 trillion. Right, and that was like a month before that he started cooperating with her, right? So after she said no, I just wonder if that actually she ended up doing it. So, okay, well, now we'll work together. Here's 200 trillion, right? And I don't know, but whatever is happening, the flooding of the world with the fiat is basically means that it's going to inflate up to the point where it literally breaks, right? But in the meantime, people have that extra money. Trump said yesterday that people, since he's been in office 3 years, have gained $7,000 in their pockets that they didn't have when he first came in. Under Bush it went up $400. Under Obama it went up $1,000, and under Trump in 3 years it's gone up 7,000. So this is reinflating everyone so that they could get stable enough to when everything, I think, disappears, when that system dissolves, that they immediately switch into something, and they have they have the money to pay their bills, and they have the ability to ride out the storm, right? So,
right. Yeah, it's just a conglomeration of terrifying and useless meeting, getting married to ignorant and angry. I mean, it's just such a, all these different things going on. But watching the everything kind of fall apart, it's like you're watching things fall apart, but at the same time you're witnessing just how awful it's gotten.
Yeah.
They pulled out all the stops with things, right? You got, what is it? You got LeBron James screaming out during the national anthem, right? Disrespecting the national anthem. I'm still curious about why the need to offer Obama asylum, right?
Oh yeah, I heard that. The Trudeau offered him asylum. Why does he need asylum?
Yeah.
And why Canada? Why not?
The same, so he can try to run things from afar.
Yeah, I guess so. So he's close to the U.S. and still able to manage things.
Yeah. Yep. Trudeau formally offers Obama asylum in Canada. Yep.
No.
That's from the Burrard Street Journal.
That's a newspaper?
Yep. In Montreal.
Interesting. So why does he need? Why do they say he needs asylum?
It's very interesting. I'm looking to see. He wanted Obama to stay with us for a while in Canada, so I guess they would both wear blackface and do horrible things.
Yeah, well, then Obama would be black then, but
yeah, he's black.
I think he's Indonesian.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, could be. I don't know. I mean, Kamala Harris used to be Indian, and now she claims she's African American.
I know. That's very amazing. She just would change her hairstyle to a black woman's hairstyle. That's what.
Right. She was giving one speech talking about how when she was a kid, smoking ganj, listening to NWA, right? Like gangster rap back in the day.
Hello. Well, just muted. So I don't know if that's on purpose. It seems like this cuts out at these times. So, all right. Well, I guess we could cover a few more news stories. I know when I was looking at what was it? Sorry, sorry, I got sidetracked. It's Hannity. Was Sean Hannity. He was, really talking about there was some news coming out with Lindsey Graham who was going to announce some things, and it looked like that there was about to be like Lindsey was going to jump into the fray and make something happen, but in the meantime, what happened right after that was the Republicans, did the sit-in at the Skiff, an Adam Schiff Skiff, right? And I think that sidelined it. But I think that there's something about ready to happen with Lindsey. So let's see, because it seemed like that was like on track, and now this thing happened, and I think that just pushed Lindsey back a little bit. So I think that there's some evidence that's going to be brought forward. Are you back, Tank?
Yeah, I am here, but you're doing great. I'm listening carefully.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, that was as far as I got. I don't know what happened. You had jumped off. I don't know if that was on purpose or you needed to take care of something. But yeah, just Lindsey, was about ready to do something, and then it got sidelined apparently. So I don't know if that's evidence coming from Rudy, and they're going to bring this about. It seems like that's been prepped and ready to go, right? So Lindsey, I think, also was kind of signaled by Trump in one of his tweets to kind of say, okay, it's time for you, Lindsey, go ahead. He didn't say it directly like that, but it
right.
would seem like if you're giving signals as to when to start, and then the next day, this Hannity announced that he was going to do this with Lindsey Graham, and then Lindsey just came in and he was surprised about the sit-in. Okay, well, obviously they're going to realign their timing for some things to happen, so let that news cycle play out, right? Which is probably an important thing, and then we'll see this new narrative coming from what Lindsey's going to do.
I think one of the most powerful things that makes humanity such a danger to this ruling mediocrity class, right? It's our free will, right, and our spontaneity. That in any given moment, our power is in that moment that we can decide to do something different, or we can decide to do something at all, right? So Matt Gaetz pulled everybody together. It's like nobody saw that coming, right? Matt Gaetz was just like, screw this, let's go. Right?
Yeah.
Which I love Matt Gaetz for that. I love him for that, man. It's awesome,
Yeah, let's just, there's nothing to debate about this. Come on, guys, let's go. And everyone, hey, let's go. Right? So that's showing good leadership from him. So that's something we can see is going to be happening.
Right. So, Dan, I have some very, very important, business trying to help some kids and some other stuff going on right now. So I'm going to have to get off because I have to make sure that people get to their location safely and certain items get retrieved and things like that. So I hate to cut you short, man, but I gotta jump off tonight.
No, it's okay. We're good with 40 minutes. You know, we can have some short shows. We don't all have to make them an hour to 90 minutes. So it's fine.
Cool, gang.
And I can get to my work. I want to finish off some things today. I'm very determined. So okay, well let's shut it down then, and we'll
Cool, gang.
We'll be back.
So
We'll be back tomorrow.
awesome, everybody. Have a great night. Go fight, win, and expect good things, everybody.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.